Hello, good morning and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapisa Sibidi. We start the news from Parliament, where First Deputy Speaker Joe Osei-Owusu has overruled the Minority Leader's motion to overturn approval of the 2022 budget. On Tuesday, the majority moved a motion of rescission and overturned the minority's rejection of the budget and consequently passed the budget in a one-sided House after the minority boycotted sittings. The minority argued it was unconstitutional for Joe Osei-Owusu to take the seat of the Speaker and also vote. The minority said the Speaker cannot be a referee and a player at the same time.
The Constitution is very clear, Mr. Speaker, that first 102, a quorum of Parliament apart from the person presiding. A quorum of Parliament apart from the person presiding shall be 1/3 of all the members of Parliament. 1/3 of all the members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I emphasize the word apart from the person presiding to begin an argument about a chain of arrangement that intends that when we are discussing the question of quorum, we should always leave the person presiding. That anytime we are discussing quorum, we should always leave out the person presiding. That is the argument. Whether it is a quorum to transact business or a quorum to take decision, always leave out the person presiding.
Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu disagreed.
Mr. Speaker, since Friday up to yesterday, the position of my colleagues on the other side was that nothing bad had happened when they purportedly took a decision binding the entire House, which was supported by 137. Mr. Speaker, the hazard of that day, and you hear some spirited efforts to the effect that, apart from the 137, there was one MPP MP hiding somewhere in some corner. Today, you are saying that it's 274. Mr. Speaker, the captures this. I want to listen to him. Nobody should attempt to throw dust into the eyes of the general public. Mr. Speaker, and then I hear one of our respected colleagues saying that the Speaker cannot be counted as one of us, much less to participate in the voting. Mr. Speaker, the Electoral Commissioner who supervises our elections is not barred by any law from voting, even though he declares the election. Because that was a position of the Honorable Dominic Ayine. That was the position of Honorable Dominic Ayine. And that's why I'm responding to him. But Mr. Speaker, we are dealing with the standing orders. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader is also attributing a statement to me that I said the motion should be approved subject to some concessions. Mr. Speaker, I never on this floor said the motion must be approved subject to concessions. I never.
Addressing a press conference, Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu criticized the First Deputy Speaker for ruling on the motion instead of putting it to vote.
Today we have been told that deputy speakers are not speakers. Our standing orders have been set aside. Any of you here, open your standing order and read the definition of speaker. It includes deputy speakers and persons presiding, as is expected of them under Article 102 of the Constitution. When you hear the Constitution, and go to the record, I have used it on the floor of Parliament. When you hear the Constitution say, except otherwise as provided in the Constitution, those of us who understand constitutional law, it operates as a limitation that in the exercise of that authority and mandate, have respect to other provisions of the Constitution. In any case, is it our minority they want to teach Article 104? Go to the record. I, on Thursday, 25th, stated on the floor of Parliament, reminding Speaker Bagbin that tomorrow, Friday, I will invoke Article 104 of the Constitution. At that time, as boastful and arrogant as they have been, they said they will populate it. So today you have seen what population does. The first deputy speaker simply abandoned putting a question on a motion and opted to give a ruling. You don't rule on a motion. The motion was accommodated. The motion was seconded. It was debated. All he needed to do was for the House to decide. But they knew that on their side, their numbers were not enough. Is to remind President Akufo-Addo and the majority leader that majority in Parliament is majority present and voting, not majority outside the presence, the chamber, in the skies. No, members available, present and voting. That is what the Constitution contemplated, even in Article 104.
Away from Parliament, it is one of the busiest towns in northern Ghana. Its dense population and geographical location making it an ideal area for an economic boom, and yet internet access for many of its residents and a lack of technology education equipment in most schools have held dreams for many of its young people. Kind courtesy ATC Ghana, the wireless tech giant, some students in one of Boku's largest basic schools have an opportunity to change this narrative. Justice Brady witnessed the opening of the town's first digital community center to help address this.
Welcome to Boku, one of northern Ghana's economic powerhouse towns. This town, bordered to the north by Burkina Faso and to the east by Togo, is a mixed bag community for people from all walks of life. And yet, despite its immense economic potential, and like many other areas in northern Ghana, many schools here run without ICT equipment.
In fact, learning of ICT is very difficult for us because we have no computer lab.
This troubles the children here. Zainab Mohammed, now 16 years and in her final year, is one of them. She wants to be a lawyer, she says, but studying with no computers in 2021 in one of Ghana's hardest to reach areas make it all the more difficult.
When we are learning ICT, our master always write it on the board for us, and we don't normally understand it. So he always, at times, he always bring his laptop to teach us how to type and other things.
Zainab and her mate in the Almia Islamic School would be lucky now. They have a place to go to for ICT education. Kind courtesy ATC Ghana.
As a technology-focused company, American Tower is very invested to ensure equal access to quality ICT education to everyone. And when I say everyone, we have a particular focus on DEI. When we say DEI, we are talking of diversity, equity, and inclusivity.
In the name of Almighty God, we launch this. The facility is going to help a lot. Learning in ICT, teachers are going to learn, students are going to learn, others are going to benefit, and outsiders. And so we are very, very grateful.
Anything need a practice. When you learn how to type and you understand it better than write it on the board.
The digital community space and they plan to do more. Justice Baidu, Joy News, Boko.
Let's talk health now. With threats of a possible surge after the Christmas festivities, the rise in cases with the fourth wave and the emergence of the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron, the Health Ministry has started a mass vaccination exercise aimed at getting 20 million people inoculated by January 2022. Sector Minister Kweku Agyeman-Manu, who announced this at a program to declare December as the National COVID-19 Vaccination Month, indicated vaccination certificates would be inspected to ensure compliance. Hannah Odame was there for Joy News.
Health Minister Kweku Agyeman-Manu says before early January 2022, all health workers, security personnel, school staff and students above 15 years, all government workers and all commercial drivers are mandated to get the vaccine. He adds certificates will be inspected before entry is granted into some facilities.
It is also going to be mandatory to visit the following venues: nightclubs, beaches, sports stadiums, so all those who want to go to eat indoor restaurants, you should be vaccinated, and you have a way of checking on your vaccination cards before you're allowed into restaurants to eat.
The minister noted the country has enough vaccines to ensure that 20 million Ghanaians get the jabs by that time.
To ensure that the target of vaccinating approximately 20 million people in Ghana is achieved, the government of Ghana, through the COVAX facility, bilateral and other multilateral arrangements, has secured over 12 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines, which are being deployed across the country. Substantial quantities of these vaccines have been received in the last 2 weeks. Additionally, we have over 8 million doses in the pipeline expected before the end of this year. With these enormous quantities of vaccines available, we will have no excuse if we do not move closer.
Kweku Agyeman-Manu also outlined the rollout for the vaccination exercise.
Trained health workers will continue to be available at all health facilities and temporary health posts to administer the COVID-19 vaccine to all persons 15 years and above. In addition, mobile teams will move to towns and villages where they will be located at schools, churches, mosques, bus stops, burials, and market areas to vaccinate people.
COVID-19 ambassador and gospel musician Celestine Donko says, though she's received some negative feedback about her vaccination advocacy, she's urging everyone to get the jabs.
One of them said, Celestine, I'm disappointed in you. Do you know Jesus? He will not take the vaccine. But eventually we took it. So what shall I say unto Ghanaians? Go and take the vaccine, it's safe and effective.
For Joy News, I am Hannah Odame.
Coordinator for National Ambulance for Western and Western North regions, Dr. Terry Asiama, is asking government to consider building facilities that project into the future, especially in the case of infections. He says when COVID-19 arrived 2 years ago, the world was not ready for it, hence the many challenges and deaths recorded worldwide. He believes stakeholders in the health sector must now stay one step ahead of nature in preparation for the next pandemic outbreak. He has been speaking to correspondent Nathala Kwanzaa at the sidelines of a health screening by Sycamore Medical Center for residents in Takoradi.
2 decades of experience as a medical practitioner, Dr. Teria has forecast that the new viruses will continue to emerge, perhaps more frequently in the near future. The medical director and chief executive officer at the Sycamore Medical Center narrates how the pandemic shook the Western region and the country at large because of unpreparedness. He says the lessons learned must be taken seriously, especially this festive season, though COVID-19 seems to be disappearing gradually.
In fact, we learned a lot during this new infection, which was very devastating. You see, because it's a new disease that just came and nobody really knew how to go about it. We were all taken by surprise. But within a short time, we learned a lot, and we realized that preparing for the future is always very useful. Initially, the drugs were a bit of a challenge, but we were able to make arrangements and got the appropriate drugs. And we learned very quickly. And so we were able to save a lot of lives. So I think that hospitals should have facilities that we should be able to project into the future, especially when it comes to infections, because COVID is not going to be the only disease, the only highly contagious infection we'll be having.
The coordinator for the National Ambulance for the Western and Western North regions, who also operates his own ultramodern health facility in the Western region, has also been speaking on how his foresight some years ago to inculcate some facilities at his hospital saved a lot of lives from death during the heat of the pandemic.
We are foresighted, so we have always planned for the future. And so we realize that for infections that are highly contagious, one needs to make special provisions for such patients. And so we design isolated wards, single rooms that we have equipped, highly equipped to take care of patients that have infections that are highly contagious. During COVID, we really saved a lot of lives using this facility. And now, although COVID is still around us now, it's gone down considerably. And so we are seeing very few, if any.
In preparation towards the festive season, where residents of Takoradi celebrate with the masquerade groups coming together in huge numbers, the Sycamore Medical Center organized a health screening exercise and free consultation for over 1,000 residents. For Joy News, in Athalia Kwansa, Takoradi.
Away from that, the Conference of Directors of Education Ghana wants better working conditions for its members. President of the conference, Peter Blair Akakweson, indicates that the provision of a better working environment, payment of allowances and incentives should be considered as they go through a series of plights to discharge their duties, especially in remote areas. He also entreated the private sector to help resolve the infrastructure deficits in schools and implored government to increase the remuneration of support staff. Mr. Blair Akakweson was speaking to Joy News on the sideline of the 28th Conference of Code held in the Volta Region capital, Ho.
Offices of Education Directorate are very deplorable. In my office, for example, when it rains, you cannot work in the office. So the machines, the little amount of machines that we have, cannot even withstand the weather. You see. Since 2016, we've been fighting over these allowances. That is not forthcoming, you see. And our counterparts, get allowance. Because day in, day out, look, I am the leader, but I was talking about that. I was just articulating the voices of the directors, that they are going on retirement. And if you look at their, pension sum, the lump sum, it's nothing to write home about. You see, so people even think about they are developing stroke and all that. You understand? Or if they were to have allowances and all that, they could be, adjusting themselves. By the time they go on retirement, they will be prepared. They will have prepared a place to lay their eyes.
We have just a day to go for the start of the Kumasi edition of the Habitat Fair 2021. Starting this Friday, the fair is expected to give stakeholders the opportunity to explore opportunities in the real estate market. Mona Lisa Frimpong reports on the much-anticipated Love FM DBS Habitat Fair.
Shura FM DBS Habitat Fair, and this year promises to be exciting as we all converge at the Kumasi City Mall on the 3rd to the 5th of December. So if you're looking to buying a house or acquiring land or even building, please, the right place to be is at the Kumasi City Mall, and you don't have to miss this year's edition of the Love FM, Shura FM DBS Habitat Fair. The theme is home ownership, to build or to buy. Take a listen to DBS Industries, lead sponsor of the Love FM Habitat Fair.
As you know, we are already running a promotion dubbed the Bosu Free. Bosu Free is about DBS giving you free installation on all your roofing. All you need to do is to buy the materials, that's the roofing sheets or your trusses, and we will come and install it for you at no cost. But when you come to the Habitat Fair, we are bringing you a very, very special package. That is, in addition to the Bosu Free that we are already giving to all our customers, those patronizing the Habitat Fair are going to get additional 5% whooping discount.
For DBS, we have Kalalin Plus that gives 20 years against fading. Our 20 years warranty is not just word of mouth, it's a certificate we are issuing to our customers. So for your roofing sheets, you need to come for DBS Colorlink Plus. It has a self-cleansing property that normally washes the surface of the sheet anytime it rains. So those of you in the dusty areas, new sites, DBS recommend Colorlink roofing sheets to you.
Heinz Feed Enterprise has assured patrons of reduced and affordable products. Rexford Brobe is director.
We are a technology company in roof inspection. We have other services that we provide, but for now we'll talk about roof inspection. So we use infrared technology to detect anomalies on your roofing sheets. So we are offering promotions, which is mouth-watering promotion, because we want everybody to appreciate the power of technology when it comes to even roof inspection. Yeah, we can see things that ordinary person cannot see on your roof.
The Habitat Fair is expected to attract thousands of prospective homeowners. Kennedy Digital Satellite and exhibitor will be featuring.
And we are giving a lot of discounts because of the Christmas promotion and other things. Whatever you're going to buy Kennedy Digital Satellite, we have something for free. That is when you are going to have value for the item that you bought already. I want to say that fufu pounding machine, that is what we are branding for now. There are no children at home to pound our fufu for us, and then people are there saying that there is no job in the country, and so on and so forth.
This year's edition has top real estate companies and industry players introducing their products and services to patrons. The Habitat Fair is taking place at the Kumasi City Mall from the 3rd to the 5th of December. Events and Promotions Manager at the Kumasi unit of the Multimedia Group tells of his preparedness.
In fact, the housing deficit in Ghana has become enormous. So it was necessary we put together a fair to solve all the housing needs of every Ghanaian. We want every Ghanaian to own a house, either to buy or to build.
Well, you have heard from our exhibitors, so I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Kumasi City Mall on 3rd to the 5th of December. Charlie, Friday is a holiday. Be sure to be at the venue. So if you're looking to buy a house or to acquire a land or to even build, as I am, with litigation-free issues, please be at the Love FM, Shura FM, DBS Habitat Fair. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
And here in Accra for the AM News, I'm Wapito Sibidi. The AM show continues with any more. Stay tuned.